Good morning and welcome back to Sunny Side Up. Joining me today is Faith. Faith, hi, hello, how are you?
What's new?
Well, sorry for the unannounced disruption to your regular broadcasting. Between being sick, our honeymoon, and traveling for Faith's graduation, we've been a little busy. So, Faith, first of all, congratulations on graduating and having your degree.
Thank you.
How does it feel as your first day past your last homework assignment?
That's such a bummer that I literally just told you that
I know.
10 minutes ago.
If it helps, I was only partially listening because I hadn't drank any coffee yet.
I feel like this is the first day of winter break that would normally become in school. But it's for the rest of my life. And it feels really good.
I'll take away all that, and when we have a kid, and then you that vacation will be gone. Then you'll be back to
I still
two
won't
jobs.
have to be writing papers, so.
Oh well, you don't know that. Maybe the kid will ask you to, I don't know, write a paper for fun.
Oh, please, they will come to you for that, not me.
Oh, okay. Well, these delays in broadcasting here and releasing episodes has also coincided recently with some investigative work I've been doing. In that, I really hate when things go on a non-announced permanent ending. Like things just die and there's no announcement or closure. It's just, you're just left up to the world. It's like, what's going on here, And that's because this week I've also been looking into why one of my favorite music channels on YouTube just up and disappeared. Now, his second to last video was, hey, I'm going back to school. I'm not going to be able to post regularly, but I'm going to try my best, right? That was like 2016. And he posted one video after that. And so what these are Japanese music collaboration, not collaborations, but they're basically like mixtapes. They're mixtapes of Japanese music, and it's so good. And my first thought is always just like, did they die? Is that why there's never been anything, Because especially with this person, I looked into their account and they have everything linked on the YouTube page, and it's got a couple of their social media profiles, their GitHub, which is a code repository. I don't know if you've picked up at this point what GitHub is. I've talked about it a couple of times. Okay. And they've got a couple other websites linked to that YouTube channel, like a Ko-fi. You know what Ko-fi is? I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it Ko-fi or coffee. It's KO dash or hyphen FI. It's basically like a one-time, Patreon is recurring subscriptions. Well, Ko-fi is the alternative where it's one-time donations. The idea is, you can buy this person a coffee for supporting their work. And it's typically a $5 single-time donation. Yeah. Anyways, their coffee page still up, exists. But no posts or anything there. There's no posts anywhere. So as far as I can tell, this kid went back to college, made one more video, and then just died. Because it's not just the music channel and the coffee page that are dead and with no announcements, but none of his social medias.
Like his personal social media?
Yeah. Everything. Everything's just empty. And I'm like, that's weird,
Have you tried
right?
posting it on Reddit to see if anybody would respond?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good idea.
Thank you.
I've
recently started utilizing Reddit a lot more recently, and I am really enjoying it. My minor inconvenience, I'm on Reddit, seeing if anybody else has had the same.
Which is always a yes. Someone has always had the exact same issue.
No, not true, because last night when we were trying to play our new Clue Scooby-Doo board game, I went on Reddit to see if anybody else has had trouble with the pieces not fitting in to the plastic movers. Nobody. Everybody was bitching about how the colors didn't actually match the characters. That's what people are mad about. Which I don't think was that big of a deal. I think they put the personalities, whatever. I could go into that a little bit. But nobody on Reddit had the same issue, and I was getting really annoyed. I was like, how am I the only one that has had this problem? So anyways, we used eyelash glue instead.
It did work though.
It did.
So anyways, this happens a lot. My issue happens a lot, especially with podcasts, because anyone can start a podcast. It's even easier than starting a YouTube channel.
our other podcast, maybe.
Yeah, I am somewhat guilty of that a little bit. But for my other podcast, I've always managed to like at least post in the change the description to say this podcast is no longer going or things like that. And so it's just like, but like YouTube, I think there's a difference. Usually on YouTube, it's far more likely that someone's going to post a goodbye video, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I think so on YouTube.
And I don't know why that difference is of why like I guess the culture of a YouTube channel is that you will more likely get a goodbye than with a podcast.
I think so because I feel like with YouTube video, you say like face to face.
Uh-huh.
But I guess if they're not making videos that show their face, then I don't know. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like podcasts would also, because it's not like one of them has like a deeper connection than the other.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I feel like you're right. That is like a more standard thing that YouTubers do rather than like podcasters or other.
But I've never heard. In fact, I'll take that back. Only one time ever have I ever actually heard of a goodbye video on a podcast.
Yeah.
Or goodbye episode.
I feel like I've seen that a couple of times, but it's been from like influencers who then started their own podcast, and then the podcast ended, and so the influencer's like, "Oh, this podcast is ending, but I'm still gonna."
Oh, you've seen it though?
Yeah, but it's not in a like, this is the end of a podcast that I don't know. It's like influencers that started off as influencers, decided that they can make money by doing a podcast, did a podcast, and then realized like, oh, maybe this podcast isn't doing that well, or I don't have enough time, and they stop doing the podcast, and they'll like, not like make an entire video, but they'll kind of offhandedly comment like, oh yeah, this podcast isn't, I'm not going to be doing it anymore, I'm just going to go back to doing my regular stuff.
But you haven't seen it on the podcast channel itself. Because that's where, like, I feel like podcasts more than YouTube channels, you're more siloed and you have to deliver the news there.
I have once, I think. It was this YouTuber that was from, like, the 2016 makeup guru, that era, which, fantastic, by the way. And then her and her now husband started a podcast called Wild Till 9. And it was, like, ongoing for a while. I listened to a little bit of it. But then a few months ago, I think this year, she posted on the Wild Till 9 Instagram account and just said, and her personal account, I'm pretty sure it was both. It could have just been her personal. I don't know. But she did make a video saying, like, yeah, we're not going to do Wild Till 9 anymore. This new episode will be our last episode, just so you guys know. Like, I'm going to still be doing my regular content on YouTube and all of that, but we're just not going to be doing the podcast anymore. So I have seen some people do it, but again, it comes from, like, already established influencers who I think just don't want to lose their base. Like, they're...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, it's a thing that bothers the shit out of me, and I really wish more, especially podcasters, were, like, just upfront, like, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. You don't even need to give me an answer. Just let me know that it's actually done and over. I don't know.
Your heart is going to absolutely shatter into pieces if your old man's ever.
Well, one of them already did. Remember the duo one?
No, if all of them, if you have none of them left.
Well, if the other main group that I listen to does end it, yeah, that would be...
I don't know what his old man podcast is.
It'll be Rooster Teeth shutting down all over again. Mm-hmm. And that was a very depressive time for me.
You were devastated when that happened.
Well, it had been my life stream to work at Rooster Teeth since I was a kid. And then for them to shut down, I was like, oh, okay. And then I hated myself even more that I never put up the money to travel to Texas to go to any of the
Travel
conventions.
to Texas? Didn't you live in Texas?
Well, then I lived in Texas, and I was like, oh my God, I'm right there. But it was the pandemic, and they didn't do in-person conventions. And if I was going to do it, I wanted to do in person.
Yeah.
So.
That's about it. I don't remember what the name of those podcasts say, so nobody knows out there what we're talking about.
Regulation.
Oh, Regulation. Right.
Regulation podcast. And their side channel, Regulation Gaming. And then Jeff's side podcast also, So All Right. Which, by the way, been listening to that show for years. Right? Years. And he made an offhanded comment that as if we were just supposed to know that this is how he frames his episodes. But he goes, oh, yeah, you guys know how I start every episode with so and end every episode with all right, right? So then blah, 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 blah. I was like, whoa. Take it back. Take it back 5 seconds. What do you do? And I was like, And then I started paying
Oh my
attention.
gosh, he does.
Every single... So the title of the podcast is called So All Right. And every episode, the first word says so, and the very last word is all right.
So All Right is the name of his podcast. That's so funny that you've never caught that before.
It's just such a small, like, vocal thing. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I recognize that he always, almost always, to me, felt like he said, starting it off with so, right? But I never caught on that it was so and then all right as the very last word. And I was like, damn. What a fun little thing
that is fun.
Only inside people probably know about.
He definitely does too. Now that I'm like thinking about the episodes I've listened with you, he definitely does that. Also, I realized that the video. Sorry, this is like rambling at this point.
Yeah.
The video that you watched the other day with them on their gaming channel or their collectible channel, my brain felt like he was talking so slow because of how fast you listen to your podcast.
Oh.
I was like, is this his voice? I thought it was like he talked faster, and then I realized like, oh no, Michael just listens to his podcast on like 2 speed.
Yeah, 2x speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know, I pretty much listen to almost all podcasts at 2x speed. There's a couple that I'll slow down for, like like my D&D podcast. I can't listen at 2x speed because I miss things, and then the next episode I'm like, who the fuck is that? Where the fuck are they? I don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, maybe slow down.
Yeah. So anyways, their voices sounded a little weird at first, and then I realized like, oh, it's because Michael's insane and listens to every podcast at 2x
the
speed.
world just talks too slow for me.
I agree, because I listen to my stuff on 2x speed too. I agree with you.
You do at 2x?
Not at 2x, like 1.75.
Well, then don't say that.
It's
a
like
big difference between
I speed stuff up.
1.75 and 2.
Well, and I always got made fun of for a lot of my life about how I talk too fast. And then I married you, who listens fast, and it's been a dream come true, let me tell you.
So I'm your dream man?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Feeling pretty good about myself this morning. Suddenly my sickness doesn't matter. Okay, this about wraps it up. But I for this part that I wanted to talk about, it's just been bothering me because I notice it more and more as the years goes on, and I like stuck. I've been podcasting since 2019, and so I pay attention to the podcasts around me, to learn from and understand, and I just notice it more and more and more, and it's like because I wish I'd actually pulled up the statistics, but people like to throw around 3 million podcasts or whatever that have ever been started, but there's only like 300,000, I think, that are actually like active podcasts. And the rest of them have just died. And it's got to be 90% of those that have no like announced ending, at least not on the podcast channel itself. Anyways, I wanted to move on. I had some follow-ups I wanted to talk to you about, Faith. Okay. Remember our great internet age debate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Australia has become the first in the world to have an under 16 social media ban. I saw that.
And isn't the fine like outrageous if they catch you?
I don't remember what the fine was.
Oh, I think I remember it being
Was the fine on the person or was it on the social media platform?
It was on the parents.
Are you sure? Because I know that the social media platforms are the ones that are responsible for the age verification.
Hold on, let me look. Because I think I saw something about how the fine would be on the parents.
Oh. Well, fine with me. Little state regulation in there. Now that this is out, and we can finally start seeing the results of this, I am interested to see where it goes. Do we start to see... But the problem is, it's going to take like 10 years for us to really see any kind of difference and be able to get like comparative data to look between Australian teens and like teens from, other similar countries. So it sucks that it's going to take so goddamn long, I think, for us to actually have any good amount of data to kind of reflect on this. But I'm excited that Australia stepped up. I am surprised that of all the countries in the world, Australia was the first country to do this.
You were right. It was the social medias that are being... The penalties target social media companies, not children or their parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
But you have to have a government ID, facial recognition, voice, and out, like something that proves that's insane.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm about it. I love it. I'm excited.
Well, oh my gosh. So, piggybacking off of that conversation, at work the other day, we were talking about, I don't even know how this came up, talking about something about how one of my coworkers didn't get a phone until she graduated high school, or until she was like late in high school. And she was telling me stories about how after like a cross country meet or a sporting event, she would just be sitting on the curb waiting for her parents to arrive because she didn't have a phone. She had to use her friends, and then it was kind of like, oh, she's on their time. They'll come pick her up when they're ready to come pick her up and they have time. She didn't have a phone to be like, hey, I'm like almost there. Can you come grab me like 20 minutes out? Didn't have a phone to do that. Her parents just expected. Anyways, it was a whole thing, and it kind of made me a little mad because I was like, why? Anyways, piggybacking off that, my other coworker started talking about how she doesn't want her kids to have any form of social media until they graduate high school. And I was like, okay, like I understand that, but you can't just totally shelter them from this world and then when they get to that age, expect them to know how to responsibly use it. Like, yeah, limit their access if you would limit it. Because there's parent controls on Instagram and stuff. I know that sometimes they're easy to get around. Yeah, but that shit
does not work. And or at least, you just end up with a Finsta. Isn't that what a
Finsta?
Finsta, yeah.
Or at least say, like, these social medias exist. Here's mine. This is how I use it in a way that you should use it. Like, Faith,
I'm going to tell you from watching my family and my sister, everything you just said does not work. You will get bullied the shit out of still.
For what?
You'll still get, like, all of these things you're talking about to try and shelter and protect the kid, they don't work. They don't work.
I'm just saying if you're going to give, like, you can't just not give somebody access to something and then expect them to know how to use it responsibly when you finally let them have all reins. Be like, oh, you're graduated, you left the house, do whatever you want. And then not know how to responsibly use these social media platforms.
But you were also slightly banking on the fact that they are going to be older and therefore more mature in how they use these very unhealthy, very unsafe platforms that we've just, as a society, agreed is necessary for life when they're not.
They're not. And I do like Australia. The 16 and under is...
I like Australia too.
I like that. But I don't know. I just think that my thing, if you're not taught how to do something, then how would you know how to do it? And if you're not taught how to use social media in ways, like responsible ways and not ways that are going to hurt you, then how would you know how to do that? It's just going to be damaging then too.
Your argument here, and we need to move on because we're going to end up with an hour and a half long debate again, but your argument here seems to be very like isolated. And what I'm trying to say is you're thinking about the one kid right here being responsible about their use of social media. But that's not the problem. The problem is everyone else bullying that kid. No matter how responsible they use social media, no matter how mature they are when they get it, no matter what they do, they're still going to be the victim of cyberbullying, and nothing you can do of preparing them is going to protect them. The only thing that's going to prevent it is having other immature, hormonal assholes not have access to that platform.
No, that makes sense. But I also still think if you give them some of the tools to protect themselves, then it won't be as damaging. Like, when I started using social media...
Why not just completely remove the damage?
Hold on. When I started using social media, I had no idea how to use it or, like, what things you shouldn't do on social media. Like, how to use it in a positive way. And I just think that you should tell kids how to use social media before you give them access to something that they don't know what they're doing that can be super damaging. Like, yes, if they have social media, it's obviously still outside things are still going to affect them, but I think knowing, like, yourself of these are the steps that I can take to try and protect myself, it's something. I'm not saying it's a foolproof total way of...
I think that's like... I mean, that's about as protective as, like, a condom that's been drilled through.
Okay.
That's what I think. That's the problem.
It's not, like,
I think you're being too hopeful and too believant that these systems that we are interacting with want us to be safe. And they don't.
Fair.
Facebook doesn't want us to be safe.
Oh, I know. I watched the documentary.
Facebook and Instagram, Reddit, they don't want us to be safe. The only thing they care about is shareholder value.
That's true. You're right.
The more chaos and the more bullying that happens on their platforms, the more people are self-addicting themselves to these platforms, and therefore more usage, and therefore shareholder value go up. That's the only thing that matters.
That makes sense. No, I think, yeah, I can see that now.
Anyways, let's move on before we're here for an hour and a half and both of our moms text us to move on with our lives.
Hey,
and get
I
over
already
this
just
argument.
said, yeah, those are good points. So
Yeah. Okay, so I have... Oh, one more thing. Paramount is mounting that hostile takeover. But Warner Brothers execs are telling stakeholders not to go with them. After I've been watching some, like, inside industry stuff about this, and I'm like... Yeah, listen... To me, from way back here, I'm telling you, Netflix owning Warner Brothers is one of the worst fucking things that can happen to the movie industry this decade.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want is Saudi Arabia to own more of my life. They have already purchased up a lot of other things, by backing and funding a lot of other deals. And I just don't think them and some other people tied to them, I don't really want them owning more of this stuff. It seems very, very weird how much Saudi Arabia is investing in the United States economy right now. And I don't know. It just, it comes up all the way to the presidential level where it's like, things are kind of weird right now. Where is this money coming from? Why is it being suddenly invested in these places? Anyways, I don't really want to get into conspiracy land here, but I just wanted to do a follow-up since we also did the social media ban follow-up. Back to what I found.
Okay.
I found the coolest, like, retro gaming company I have ever heard of, and I'm obsessed. So, this retro gaming company, when I say that, you might think, they sell retro video games. They sell retro video game consoles. No. They sell something even cooler. I love when I'm sick because I can get a little more serious. Anyways, they sell...
You love when you're sick. I heard you complaining and groaning and moaning on the couch yesterday for hours. Though you do not love when you're sick.
Never have you again. So, they have these consoles. So they are producing their... like modern versions of consoles from like 90s, from the 90s era. So we've got like the Nintendo 64 and the Game Boy Advance and some other really cool stuff like SNES, where these are brand new consoles they are making today, like with HDMI ports. But you can plug in the OG controllers into these things. And so the big thing to say here is it's not software emulation. It's hardware emulation. And the more techie people will understand that. I know you're looking at me and don't worry about it. For you, it's not that big a deal to explain what this console is. But they have HDMI ports so they can plug into modern TVs and all that, right? But you can play with using the original cart. So you can still, blow in that Nintendo 64 cart and smash it into the goddamn Nintendo 64 they've built, and it works just fine. Nice. And they've even like done things to like enhance the graphics and stuff, as you're playing through it with an HDMI and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, I love this. Anyways, the company is called Analog 3D. And they are the Nintendo 64 is their newest console that they have replicated for, like with modern technology. And it looks just like the Nintendo 64. So I'm really surprised they have not gotten a cease and desist from Nintendo. But I think they have, I think it was like 6 different consoles now that they have reproduced as kind of like modern consoles with this stuff. And so it really is just like playing an old school Nintendo 64, except built with modern materials. Nice. And so I'm very excited about this. I would love to buy the Nintendo 64 one, but all of my Nintendo 64 cards were stolen from me when I was a child. It is a very traumatic experience that I will probably never get over, and I will be sad about this until the day I die. And then even when I come back as a ghost, I'm going to haunt some pawn shop because that's where my Nintendo 64 cards went.
How did they get stolen?
My babysitter stole my Nintendo 64 and all of my cards. So here's the story.
Your babysitter? That's so messed up.
Here's the story. We come home from school. She brings her son over. And she's like, oh, my son has a Nintendo 64 too. Why don't we just play with that one? And I'm like, that's weird. But she's the adult here. I guess I'll do what she says. And so she puts my Nintendo... I still have the memory of watching her pick up my Nintendo 64 and all of my games. A little weird. Picking them all up and putting them in a cabinet next to my mother's bedroom. And then we played on her son's Nintendo 64. And then the next day after I went to go get my Nintendo 64, it was gone. The Nintendo 64, my collection of N64 cartridges, and all 4 controllers were all gone.
Why didn't you tell your mom?
I don't remember what happened. I was a kid, and I don't remember what happened. That was a bit of a situation back in that.
No, that's insane. I would have immediately been like, Mom, this bitch stole my shit. Like,
well, she denied it. I remember she eventually, like, yeah. Because then she ended up marrying my dad later on. But so then I had more access to confront the situation, and she denied it.
So your babysitter stole your Nintendo 64
and then fucked my dad.
It's not funny, but so funny. I'm so sorry.
You know what's fucked up? She's driving around in a fucking sports car right now, too.
But because she sold all your Nintendo 64 shit.
Shut up. All right. You know what? We're going to wrap it up there. We've been traveling a lot lately, and so I thought, what better way what better recommendation could I possibly have for all our travel than to say, watch Soul Plane.
Oh, is that really weird one where he owns the airport?
The airline? Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a great movie.
Sure.
It's a
Is
great
that the
movie.
one where, like, when Snoop Dogg is the pilot?
Snoop Dogg is the pilot, yes. It's a black-owned airline and fantastic.
Sure.
Okay. What recommendation you got, Faith?
My recommendation...
I doubt it's better than Soul Plane.
It's White Christmas, so it is better than Soul Plane. I love, love, love White Christmas. It is my favorite Christmas movie, which I think is because my mom watched it so much growing up. But it is my favorite Christmas music. It just makes me feel like... You know when you get, like, that nostalgic Christmas feeling? No?
Sure.
Okay. White Christmas gives me that, like, nostalgic Christmas feeling of, like, watching it on Christmas break with my mom. I don't know. I love White Christmas. It's so great. The songs are great. Like, they're Christmassy, but, like, not. I love White Christmas. And I watched it last night while building my new Lego set. And it was a fantastic start to freedom.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, is this your first movie recommendation?
I don't know. I feel like it's not.
No, it'd be weird. I feel like I would be like, whoa, your first movie one. You know, like my brain would click a little bit more. So, first one in a while, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. We have an extensive list of things to be doing today. So, all right.